Do you ever read a book and you just want to know more? That's what happened last month. So, if you're new here, my name is Heather and this is The Reading Mama. And I am new to this whole booktube thing this year and trying to figure out exactly where I am and what I want to share. And one of the things I wanted to share was more about specific books because I love books. I read very widely and eclectically. But this last month I participated in the Read Historical Fiction Readathon. And I love historical fiction. But one of the prompts was alternate history. And I've never really done that. And so I had to start looking. And one of the suggestions was The Calculated Stars. And I love that book way more than I thought I would. A little bit heavy on the swearing, but not so much that I couldn't keep reading. And I love that the whatever spice was in it was between a married couple, and it wasn't bad. Maybe PG-13. But the whole story behind it, I loved it. So in this alternate history, we have shortly, I think it was 1954, a meteorite strikes Earth in the Atlantic and causes all kinds of chaos. And now there's a race to leave the world. Let's just ignore the fact that, okay, if the world is going to end and because there's it's going to get really cold and then it's going to get really hot and then you won't be able to live on its surface. Why are we planning to leave the planet to go live on other places that are already inhospitable, like the moon and Mars? Because whatever you need to live on those planets, you could just build on Earth and live here. But whatever. It's science fiction meets alternate history. Historical fiction. I mean, come on. You just go with it and you enjoy it and you suspend logic and just enjoy it. But it was so well written and I loved all the nuances and nods to what really happened with WASPs, the women who flew in World War II, and just like the military side of it and also the science side of it. It was very interesting. And so it led me to want to read. Sorry, I'm trying to get a baby asleep, so I'm rocking. And so it led me to want to read more. And one of the books she suggested was Hidden Figures, which I've always wanted to read ever since the movie came out. I was super, super excited. So I picked that up. So adding it to my to-be-read stack. I got it really cheap on Thrift Books. I'm excited to dive into this because just the world that the women were in and what they had to deal with. Plus, you add in women of race and the extra that they had to deal with as women and women of another color that they had to deal with. I just find that incredibly compelling. And my kids are studying 20th century history this year, so it's going to fit in right along with our studies. I'm going to read that one. I'm going to put this out on the shelf, I think, for my kids and see if they are drawn to it and kind of hint, because it's the young reader's guide. And I may or may not assign it, but I just think that this is such an important part of history that I want my kids to know. And since I have 7 daughters, I want them to see the women in history. We're obviously white, but we try to make sure that we are not only thinking about white history and only those things that tend to be the typical. And so I'm excited to add this to our bookshelves and hope to dive into it. But The Calculated Stars just had an amazing bibliography, great author's note. That's always what I look for in a good historical fiction, that they've actually done the research, that they really know, and they're putting in those little nuances and they can explain, okay, maybe not, this was real, that was not all the way through, but in a general sense. And she does a great job with that. So much so that I want to continue reading the series, even though I think it's just nonsense. Because yeah, like I said, if you're going to build a place to live on Mars, because the Earth is too hot, why would you not just build that here? But I'm so excited to continue reading the series because it had such great character development, and it was very relatable, not perfect heroine in the end, and it was just great. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I love that she ties in not just what happens with women, and it's not, I don't know, it had a feminist twist, but it wasn't like a jam down your throat kind of feminism. I don't do that. But it was just really well written. Great characters, great plot line. I'm excited to continue the series. If you have any comments about the calculated stars, hidden figures, anything like that, drop it below. And if you made it to the end of this, give me a little outer space emoji of some sort, star, moon, planet, whatever, spaceship. I don't even know. There's crazy. Maybe there's an alien. I don't know. Drop one of those emojis below. And thank you again for watching. Have a blessed day.